CBC Saturday News.
Good evening, I'm Marivelle Tarouk. It's a historic day for the city of Ottawa as thousands boarded the city's first LRT. The CBC's Matthew Kupfer has been riding the rails today, and he joins us live from Tunney's Pasture Station. Matthew, how are people feeling out there today?
Well, Marivelle, there's been a lot of excitement here in the nation's capital. Some people have opted to ride the entire Confederation line of the LRT, all 13 stops from end to end, just to see what the experience is like. And of course, they're recording it with selfies or taking GoPros on the train to record their maiden voyage on this new train system. Anticipation has been building for a long time. This project has been 6 years in the making, with most of the last year being delays.
Old train! We're going on the old train!
There you go!
The wait is over. The first trains left the station with paying customers this afternoon. Some people lined up for the honor of being the first passengers, and others made a special trip from Toronto and beyond.
We're so excited. We're going to ride it multiple times today, probably.
I came all the way from New York to ride on this train, and I'm so excited.
Some people were just getting a feel for the ride.
It feels really cool because it kind of feels like you're floating.
It's really nice. The inside has this new train smell, so I'm enjoying the ride so far.
You can see that how Ottawa is going into the future. It's so important.
For Everton Stewart, his first ride was personal. He's one of the workers who contributed to building the 13-station rail line with 3 underground stations.
Like I said, we're very proud, and it's pretty smooth, and a lot of people are very happy about it.
The $2.1 billion project is being touted as a transformational change for the nation's capital. And after nearly a decade of political debate and 6 years of construction, Ottawa's mayor was basking in the first rides.
Wow, I feel very proud to be a resident of Ottawa and very excited to be on the first inaugural ride. It's been a dream for a long time for a lot of people, myself included, so really ecstatic.
So you can see a real celebratory mood here in Ottawa today. I rode this train a few times today, and I can tell you it was pretty packed in there. Of course, the real test will be Monday rush hour, when the transit agency will have red-vested ambassadors to help guide people through their first journeys to and from work if they choose to take the train. Marivelle?
First of many rides for you, I'm sure, Matthew, and the rest of the folks out in Ottawa. Thanks for this. That's Matthew reporting live from Tunney's Pasture Station. My first time too. Well, a man has been charged with impaired driving after he allegedly smashed into a police cruiser in Scarborough last night. The head-on crash happened near Shepherd and Brenyon Way just after 11:30. The impact of the collision forced the airbags in the cruiser to deploy. The officers were taken to a local hospital with some bumps and bruises, but they have since been released. Toronto police are appealing for witnesses in a hit-and-run investigation from late last month that caused the death of a 35-year-old woman. The crash happened on August 30th at 10:30 p.m. on Shepherd near Abbotsfield Gate. Police say the woman was standing in the center turn lane on Shepherd when the suspect vehicle traveling eastbound at high speed struck the woman and continued east. The driver was last seen making a right turn onto Warden. Police believe the suspect vehicle is a 2005 to 2009 dark gray Mitsubishi. They also believe there was some windshield damage to the vehicle. So a special appeal is being made to body shops and car dealerships to contact police if they have repaired vehicles of this description. Anyone else with information is also asked to contact police.
I mean, $100 a weed is pretty tempting.
You heard that right. Free cannabis had many lining up outside this Toronto pot shop as multiple illegal storefronts opened their doors today in the city. It has been a busy start to the weekend for Toronto's unlicensed pot shops. A downtown store got things started today with a cannabis giveaway, and it wasn't the only business flouting the law. Our Nick Brover explains.
Call it a weed for all. Just a few minutes before noon today, a snaking line of customers waited on what seemed like an unusually good deal.
Waiting for weed. Waiting for marijuana. Ontario's cannabis legal.
I think if there's a good deal to be had, then I want to take advantage of it.
At the downtown shop Cannabis and Coffee, the business gave away $100 vouchers for a cannabis delivery service. The store owner says the line wasn't just about free weed.
This is a show of, public disobedience where people are showing exactly what kind of a service they want and what kind of a price point and quality.
Of course, the vouchers and weed delivery apps are technically illegal, but if Toronto has proven anything since pot was legalized last October, it's that cannabis laws aren't exactly ironclad.
I prefer coming to the illegal dispensary than a government one, because it's better weed, better quality.
Up on St. Clair West, the unlicensed shop Cafe made yet another comeback, this time just weeks after police raided the chain and blocked its entrances with concrete. The store reopened yesterday, but the owners seem to be handling that somewhat cautiously. About 20 minutes after we got here, the gentleman just over my shoulder came from inside the store and started asking us quite a few questions. At another cafe location on Bloor, the entrance is still blocked, but they don't seem totally closed. That was hard to confirm. Whatever is happening, Toronto's mayor isn't amused.
I just think these people set a bad example, and I think they engage in practices that are just not consistent with the kind of stable, safe community that we want to have.
Tory says he wants to see the laws enforced, but police will have to act quickly. Cannabis and Coffee is planning to give away more vouchers tomorrow. Nick Boisvert, CBC News, Toronto.
A popular trading platform that allows users to barter pretty much anything is scaling back the use of its digital currency. Going forward, Buns will only allow a few cafes and restaurants to accept the cryptocurrency bits as payment. As Philippe de Montigny reports, the move has angered many of the platform's users and local businesses.
For more than a year now, Buns has allowed users to trade their stuff for bits. The digital currency could be used in dozens of local shops, including grocery stores, breweries, and specialty boutiques like Drake General Store. But as of this week, only a handful of cafes and restaurants are allowed to accept bits as payment.
It was kind of like a bit of a slap in the face.
This business owner says the app drew new customers into her store, but the sudden change has everyone scrambling.
Coming into our busiest season, a lot of people were saving up. I feel bad for my customers.
Many users who saved up hundreds of dollars worth of bits feel betrayed because Buns did not give them the promised 30 days notice before bringing major changes to its digital currency platform.
People who are disappointed and quite upset and say, okay, well, I'm gonna close my account, I don't want all the bits anymore. One post I saw, someone had over $600 worth. It was like 65,000 bits.
Katya Pereyaslavska is an active user on Buns. Unlike many others, she made a point of spending her bits very quickly.
I've always been very suspicious. It felt like too good to be true, and I didn't know how much funding they had.
In an emailed response, the company's CEO said, "This decision was necessary to take a step in the right direction towards managing our costs to operate the Buns app while building a sustainable business that benefits everyone who uses Buns." To date, users have earned and spent over $1.4 million using the digital currency, according to Buns. This tech reporter suspects the move came to better manage payouts to businesses.
Because imagine that a whole bunch of people who had been saving up for big brand purchases were to cash out at the same time.
Many Facebook groups where the grassroots movement initially started rebranded to remove Buns altogether.
That's probably one of the biggest hits to the Buns brand.
She says regaining the trust of consumers and local business might be an uphill battle. Philippe de Montigny, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, newly re-signed Mitch Marner joined his Maple Leafs teammates today in Newfoundland for the second day of training camp.
I'm excited to be part of this team. Obviously seeing this roster and everything that's happened in the summertime, looks like a great team, and hopefully I can contribute to that and help out.
It was an interesting process. I'm excited that we can know that we're all going to be in this together for an extended period, and I think that should be exciting not only for our players and the staff, but also for our fan base.
Marner agreed to a 6-year deal with Toronto yesterday worth an annual average value of $10.89 million a year. Let's take our first look at the weather this weekend with Marta Chirailovich. Hi, Marta.
Hey, Maribel. Well, there's lots of festivals happening this weekend. The Ukrainian festival, the Polish festival. It was a nice day today as opposed to yesterday. A little bit gusty today. Let's start off with Sunday morning. Looks like 12 degrees. Then it's going to heat up to 19 degrees. Slightly below seasonal, as I mentioned. It's about 21 degrees for this time of year. And unfortunately, there is a little bit of the chance of a shower tomorrow as well. I mean, today was a beautiful day, like I mentioned. A little bit breezy, but nonetheless, those winds will subside for tomorrow. As you see Saturday evening moving into Sunday, they're getting a little bit less gusty than they were today. As you can see the numbers there. Let's take a quick look at the precipitation forecast. So, I mean, there is going to be some showers in through Sunday. They'll start off in the morning in through cottage country. You can see some of those cells passing through. By the afternoon, you will see some of that in through the GTA, but it should be done by the time the She the North rally is up for Andriescu in Mississauga. Of course, there's going to be a rally celebrating her win tomorrow in Mississauga. So Sunday, a quick look at those temperatures across the board. Again, just a slight chance of showers throughout, but a passing shower, nothing too severe. And by Monday, the temperatures heat up. But I'll give you more of the forecast a little later. We could see some summer weather again.
Okay, we'll check in with you in a bit. Thanks, Marta. Well, this year's Toronto International Film Festival is drawing to a close, but not without one last gala premiere. The movie is Radioactive. Our Yelena Adzik is out there again on the red carpet at Roy Thomson Hall for us. Okay, a lot of buzz around the final movies for TIFF, Yelena.
Yes, Marvel, this is it. Right now, the red carpet, the last one for this year's film festival. And it is fitting that they are focusing on a strong female figure. That's because this year at TIFF, they've really tried to increase the amount of women that you're seeing in terms of the stories on the screen, but as well as the people behind the scenes. So I'm going to give you a look at the star, Rosamund Pike. This is a woman who has to portray and embody somehow this figure who is so much larger than life. Mary Curie, of course, the focus on her pioneering research on radioactivity is there, but they also delve quite deeply into the relationship that she has with her husband and scientific partner, Pierre Curie. Now, this was the first woman not only to win a Nobel Prize, but the first person to win the Nobel Prize twice, and she won in two different fields, chemistry and physics, so she's the only one to have done that. It really is quite a powerful character. I'm going to give you just a little snippet, a little sense of Rosamund Pike in that role. Have a look.
Science is changing. And the very people who are running science are the people who believed the world was flat. I'm going to prove them wrong.
And the director here at the helm, the director is Marjane Satrapi, and this is a woman who has based this movie actually on a graphic novel as her source, and so she's taken some of those creative elements and put them up on the big screen. However, you're really going to be seeing it on the small screen. This has got an Amazon release, so it'll be streamed coming soon to anyone who's got an Amazon account, but it's just a part of the trend that we're seeing more and more at the film festival where movies are getting streamed, so we all can see them.
We can. And thanks, Yelena, for all your coverage once again for TIFF this year. The federal party leaders were out on the campaign trail this morning, but only the NDP made a major policy announcement, their promise to the public, and the latest from all three parties after the break. Tropical storm Umberto has brought heavy wind and rain to parts of the Bahamas today, just 2 weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastated the country. CBC's Lorenda Redekop has more on the new storm and efforts to recover from the last one.
It's home for now. This school gym converted into a shelter for people whose houses were destroyed by Hurricane Dorian. The Category 5 storm hammered Abaco and Grand Bahama Islands. Officials say 1,300 people are still missing.
I hope they find him. I hope so. You just have a son. You don't even know the baby face yet. I hope they find him. I hope so.
United Nations officials visited some of those affected and pledged money to help with one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever make landfall.
The financial cost of the damage caused by Dorian is not clear, but it will be in the billions of dollars, and the Bahamas cannot be expected to foot this bill alone.
70,000 people need food and shelter. Volunteers from around the world are helping prepare and deliver meals.
Oh, they have been very, very good with the help of food and water, the little solar lights that they brought.
One Toronto high school student is volunteering for that organization. Nicholas Robinson is staying with family in the Bahamas. He and his dad flew to the capital city to help. And he started a GoFundMe, raising thousands.
It's kind of mind-boggling. Originally, I mistyped my goal on GoFundMe for, it's supposed to be 5,000, and then I accidentally put in 50,000. And from there, it's kind of just blown up.
The best way that people can help is typically to send money.
This expert on humanitarian aid encourages people who want to help contact organizations already set up in the Bahamas to help avoid logistical problems.
3 of the airports apparently have had problems with huge numbers of civilian aircraft that are landing, people trying to do good, bringing relief supplies that they think are important, and they're bottlenecking the airport.
With changing weather patterns worldwide, help will likely be needed again in the Bahamas and elsewhere. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's federal party leaders were out on this first weekend of the election campaign, but the only policy announcement came from the New Democrats, and it targets a group all parties are after: middle-class Canadians worried about losing manufacturing jobs. David Thurton rounds up the day on the campaign trail.
Jagmeet Singh bussed into Oshawa today, the heartland of Canada's auto industry. He mingled with residents at the local farmers market who knew well the problems the community faces. The auto sector has been ravaged by downsizing and job cuts. The local GM plant will close at the end of this year, putting 2,000 people out of work.
For too long, the priority hasn't been Canadian workers. Liberal governments have failed. Conservative governments have failed.
Singh promised he would reverse this. An NDP government, he says, would invest $300 million to spur innovation in Canada's zero-emissions auto sector, and it would triple the Liberals' $5,000 electric vehicle rebate.
The maximum $15,000 incentive that we're proposing should be for a car that's made in Canada. That would create incentives for manufacturers to build those cars here in Canada. There would be an incentive for folks to buy them.
The parties in this election are eager to demonstrate that they are helping the middle class by creating jobs and making life more affordable. Justin Trudeau met with voters today in Quebec, a must-win region for the Liberals, and the party released another ad touting their success renegotiating the new NAFTA deal and eliminating tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum.
Your Liberal government fought tooth and nail to protect your jobs. We stood up to Donald Trump on trade when the Conservatives wanted Canada to back down.
Meanwhile, the Conservatives spent today defending another candidate's record, this time Ontario candidate Justina McCaffrey's association with alt-right commentator Faith Goldie.
See, Justina and myself, we go back a couple of years.
Goldie has been banned from Facebook. Scheer is standing by McCaffrey.
Of course, I've let the candidate's statement on that issue speak for itself. I have obviously made it clear that I won't have anything to do with that individual.
McCaffrey, though, refused to answer questions.
Can we just ask you really quickly?
Later, McCaffrey released a statement saying she hasn't seen Goldie in years. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
So what matters to you this election? We want to know here at CBC. What issues do you want us to dig into, or do you have questions about candidates or parties? You can connect with us by email, phone, or on social media. Email us at mygtaelection@cbc.ca. Call us at 416-205-6000 or connect with us. CBC Toronto on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And here's a live look from our harborfront camera. Clear evening, 21 degrees, beautiful. Is summer going to hold on? Your long-range forecast is coming up after the break. Thousands gathered this afternoon at High Park for this year's Ukraine Parade as part of the Bloor West Village Toronto Ukrainian Festival.
It's all about celebrating the Ukrainian culture, heritage, and of course eating and drinking as well.
We all come from somewhere, and the idea is to be able to bring your culture, bring your heritage, and live it.
Because there's so many Ukrainians here in Toronto, it's a great opportunity for us to get together and share our culture, and also for people not to forget their roots and to keep their language and traditions going.
The festival is in its 23rd year. A stretch of Bloor Street welcomes thousands to celebrate Ukrainian culture, from their traditional clothing, Ukrainian dancing, music, food, and of course, you heard it, the drinks. The event will go on until the end of the weekend. It's a beautiful day for that and the many other festivals happening, as you mentioned, Marta, but how much longer are we going to have this beautiful summer weather?
Well, let me tell you, there's going to be a little bit of summer heat a little later in the week. I was at Ukrainian Festival and I filled up on pierogies. They were delicious. Nice. Tonight it's going to be 11 degrees, which, believe it or not, is about seasonal for this time of year. It's going to heat up to 19, slightly below seasonal, which is around 21 for this time of year. So 19, there is a chance of showers tomorrow. We could see that as in the morning, you'll see that in through cottage country. By the afternoon, you could see that in the GTA, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. The She the North rally is happening in Mississauga, of course, for Andreescu's big win. The key to the city will be presented to her, but the showers should be out by then. So Sunday's forecast across, a little bit of rain throughout, as you can see, but just passing showers, nothing too severe in nature. Cottage country, if you're still hanging out up there, you can see 17 degrees in Midland, 17 in Beaverton, slightly some of those showers in through there. And then a closer look at the GTA for Monday, 23. So the heat is definitely building, and let me tell you why. Well, there's this upper ridge that's sort of pumping the heat into our area. The prairies are going to see much hotter temperatures than we are, but there is going to be that taste of late summer heat for us as well. So let's take a look at the 7-day forecast for Toronto. I mean, there's sun after this weekend, sun in the forecast pretty much for the rest of the week. It's really in through Thursday, 25, feels like 29. That's what I'm talking about, that late summer heat in through there. And just a quick look at the 3-day forecast for areas around the GTA, Kitchener, Burlington, Markham, and Pickering. Again, Sunday, a little chance of showers throughout areas of southwestern Ontario as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Marta. And as Marta mentioned, the city of Mississauga is going to celebrate U.S. Open champ Bianca Andreescu tomorrow afternoon. The rally will be in Celebration Square at 4:30 p.m. Andreescu will be given the key to the city, and the city will unveil a new street sign, Andreescu Way. We'll have highlights for you in our next newscast, which is tomorrow night at 11. But that's our show for you tonight. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.